Welcome, everyone, to our voter education series. This is a 10-part series brought to you by none other than the visionary of our Democratic Party here in Davidson County, and that is the second vice chair, Reverend Lester Smith. He had the vision to share with you City of Thomasville, City of Lexington, and Davidson County, a year-round voter education event. We are going to do this in person and virtual so that we can reach as many people as possible. Some of the things we're going to talk about and share with you are party structure in the county, precincts, wards, polling locations, polling place mechanics, which is today's show, voter registration and canvassing, people and jobs at the polls, methods for voting, and deep dive. We're going to take a deep dive one day on voting by mail. The other thing we're going to talk about is our municipal elections and voter protection. Municipal elections are coming up this year. We are, of course, targeting those who can vote, those who will vote, and even those who have no desire to vote at all. We hope that by the end of this series that you will have a desire to let your voice be heard, to exercise your right to vote. People died for you to have a right to vote. And we want you to embody that and embrace that. And we want you to walk away from one of these series, log off from one of these series and go vote. We want you to decide and change your mind about the whole voting thing because it is important. The world and the place around you can only change if you vote. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today. We have with us none other than Brother Ellsworth Best. He is in Thomasville, our precinct manager. He is our precinct manager. And some of you may have seen him for the first time last year during our voting season at the Thomasville Library. So thank you so much for joining us, Brother Best. If you would say hi to the people.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? And I want to thank Sister Kelly for this opportunity because she is 100% correct. Voting is so very important, not just to me, but to your whole community. And I appreciate this opportunity to give some information, as we can say it, real information. So if you have any questions, concerns, now would be a good time.
Yes, thank you so much. And this, of course, is being recorded live, but by the time you hear it, we will have edited it and had the show, of course, polished just for you. And so if there are any questions that you want to present for the next show after hearing this show, please do so. Go into the comments below on YouTube, put #replay, type your question. We will pick those up and we will address them on the next series. And so you will be able to know that someone heard and saw your concern. And so today we want to talk about, as a citizen, I am a citizen and I want to know three things. I want to know, number one, what happens if I want to register? The second thing we're going to talk about that most citizens want to know is, what's the difference in early voting and same-day voting? I know that after I've registered, I've got to decide what day I'm going down there to stand in the line. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is, as a citizen, what will your eyes behold from the threshold of the door to the exiting of the poll? So, Brother Best, I want you to start with being registered. Talk to us about that.
Being registered is a very good question, especially, and again, you mentioned both of these formats. The early voting, which usually lasts from 17 to 18 days, and then you have the day of voting. Now, if you're doing early voting, Again, it's about 17 days. And if you come in there and you maybe just recently moved out of Guilford County to Davidson County, or you haven't voted for a while, all we need for you is to verify who you are and your address. All we need is your utility bill, phone bill, bill from Target, something that shows your name and that address. If you have a couple of them, that helps us tremendously, and we can actually register you right then and there. If it's the day of voting, it's a little bit more trickier. It can be done, but it's a lot more trickier. So right now, I'm just going to stay with the early voting, okay? But again, both times you can do same day registration. Again, early vote is what we'll stick with today. Again, it's easy. If you have the bills, because you come in and you're not sure, we can run your name, we can pull you up, and you'll see that you voted in Forsyth County. And you say, hey, I just moved here to Thomasville. And again, you may not have it on you. If your driver's license has not been updated, or you haven't had time to do any of the updates, just bring us bills. Like again, utilities bill, mortgage bill, something like that. And we can actually register you right then and there and get you to vote. Now, you probably have to do what's called provisional until we're able to verify everything there. Did I answer your question pretty much?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about the citizens of Davidson County,
Mhm.
tell us where is the Board of the Board of Elections. Where is the Board of Elections? Where do we go? Because we might want to go right after Labor Day. We might not want to wait. Where do we go?
Okay, Board of Elections, right there in Lexington, right there off Main Street. 945 North Main Street. It's pretty much right across from the barbecue center, if you're familiar with that little area there. And if you go to Charles, again, I just went there, but if you go to Charles, you've gone right past the Board of Elections, building right there on the left-hand side. And they're there pretty much 9 to 5. Great group. You just want to just walk in. You can just walk in and just say, hello, I'm a citizen here. I want to register, whatever it may be. They have people there that will help you. So you can go there anytime. Again, that's 945 North Main Street in Lexington, North Carolina.
Good. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Thank you so
Welcome.
much. And so that's the place where everyone in Davidson County has to go if they live in the North Davidson area, the South Davidson, Thomasville.
Davidson
That's
County.
where everyone goes, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Davidson County.
All right. All
Mhm.
right. Thank you for that. So now tell me, as a citizen, settle my mind on how will it look if I choose to go vote early? Kind of give me a settlement on that. Let me know, kind of the pros and the cons, or maybe some of the things that I will encounter going early as opposed to waiting the same day.
Okay. Now, when we're doing the early voting, whether it be for the primary early voting or the actual general election, there's this little bit difference there. The primary is where you're actually picking your candidate for your particular party affiliation. Democrats, if you register a Democrat and it's the primaries, you most vote Democrats. Now, even though you're doing that in the primaries, and I know this may be confusing, we can dive into it. For the primaries, you have to vote your party affiliation. Now, if you're considered unaffiliated and you go there to vote in the primaries, we're going to actually ask you, okay, you're unaffiliated. Who did you want to vote under this just for the primary? Did you want to vote Democrat or did you want to vote Republican? Again, this is just the primary. Now, the day of the voting, you can vote for whatever one you want to, but just for the primaries, you must pick a certain party. And once you've done that, then you just go to our little registration table. We're going to ask you your name, address, those kind of things. We may ask you for your date of birth, whatever it is. But your driver's license is not required for the state of North Carolina. So if you don't have a driver's license, you're still perfectly fine. And then we'll take the information, get you logged in, and then we'll just send you over to the machines and have you start voting. And if you have any questions, there are people there. Raise your hand, give a wink, whatever it is. They can actually help you navigate the system itself because it is touchscreen. Some folks, depending on generation, they may not be as in touch with the new voting process. It's all pretty easy, touchscreen. If you make a mistake, we show you how to remove that mistake and vote who you want. That's about it.
That's interesting you say that. I didn't know
Mhm.
that. If you make a mistake, showing how to fix it.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because
Yes.
so many people get nervous when you, mashing those buttons or touching the tabs,
Yes.
and you're saying, oh my gosh, did I do right?
Right.
Did my vote go in?
Mhm.
So thank you for saying that. I do remember my one experience that was a lasting memory, and that was the year President Obama won the election. And
Okay.
I actually went to the Board of Election to vote, or I'm not sure if I voted early. I'm not sure how I got there today. I don't know. But I was at the Board of Election. And so, well, it had to be early, I guess. Is that
Right.
correct? Can
They
you
don't do-
vote anywhere when you vote early? Can you vote anywhere when you vote
Yes,
early?
absolutely.
Well, that must
Anywhere
be
in the
how I,
county. Anywhere
okay,
in the county.
anywhere in the county. That must be how I ended up at the Board of Elections because
Yes.
I voted there. And
Mhm.
so we were outside, and there was a man. He decided to break out singing, and he sung us a mini concert. Then when we made it inside, I think we had a little snack basket because the
Mhm.
line was wrapped out the door and down the hill.
Mhm. Yes.
And then there were the workers were so nice and so welcoming.
Mhm.
And you're right, they were just making sure everybody was good and comfortable. And that
Absolutely.
was the best turnout that
Mhm.
I felt like I had as experience as a voter in Davidson County. So yes, thank you, Lexington. Thank you, Board of Elections, for that. I will never forget that. Never forget that.
And I don't want to cut you off, Sister Kelly, but what you just said is what we try to do. I cannot speak for all the different one-stop, what they call them, one-stop voting places, but everyone that I've met, all the other precinct managers, seem to be on the same board, on the same, trying to make sure everybody votes and everything like that. My thing with this at Thomasville, everyone who crosses that threshold, I want to make sure they feel that their vote has counted. If there's any questions whatsoever, we're there to help us say, look, just say, I think I made a mistake. How can I make sure that what I'm doing is correct? We don't tell you who to vote for, but we will help you navigate it to where you feel comfortable. You said, okay, I know that what I did is 100% accurate, it's counted and everything. That is
Yes.
my main thing, is to make sure that everyone who leaves there know for a fact, without any questions, my vote counted. I picked who I wanted to pick. I didn't pick who I didn't want to pick. So, and again, it counts. So again, my thing there is make sure that everyone is educated. So the next time they come, they'll have a really better idea of how to navigate it and everything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
just make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's talk about now. Don't let me forget, because I want you to share your story about the citizen who came in and didn't see the person that they wanted to vote for. So don't let me forget that, but not right now. So we've made it to the door. The citizens have made it through registration. They have registered to vote. They receive. How long does that process take? From the time I registered, if I registered in June or July, how long does the average process take for me to get that confirmation that I know registration was successful? Or is it a process?
Well, it's not, I'm not saying it's not a process. Of course, it's a process. We have to verify and everything like that. And if you're registering, just say you're registered for this upcoming event in this October, November, and you just moved here, you need to register. You register, just say next Monday, probably within a week, 10 days at a max. It's not, I don't even think it's that long, because there's not too much going on now, because they're going to pretty much get it, and the turnaround is not long at all. If it gets closer to election time where they're a lot busier, then yes, it may take a little longer. You can still, even though you're not officially registered, you can still go and vote and everything like that. Just bring your proof that you actually have moved here, who you're going to vote, what party affiliation you want to be associated with, and we'll register you right there. Mm-hmm.
Good. Thank you so much.
Okay.
When I get to the door,
Mhm.
And I want you to share with me not just the average citizen experience at the door of my polling location, but the experience that senior citizens have, and the
Yeah.
luxury, or let me say, the benefit that they have when they go to vote as a senior citizen or disabled or handicapped.
Mhm.
Talk to me about that. I show up at the threshold. So let's say I'm at, I don't know, let's say I'm at Colonial Drive School where the social service building is. Or no,
Okay.
let's talk about your building. That's your building. Let's talk about the
There you go.
library. Let's talk
Okay.
about the library. I'm
Okay.
at the door. I'm
Mhm.
in line. I've made it to the door. What do I do?
Well, first off, if you're a seasoned citizen, we don't say seasoned, senior, seasoned citizen, I see you coming in with a walker, I see you coming across the parking lot with a cane and everything. Someone's going to stop you before you get there. We're going to inform that person or person say, hey, look, you can sit in your car and you can do curbside voting, which is the exact same thing. It's just that you have the convenience of just actually voting from your car. A lot of times, quite frankly, they want to just actually come in and do it themselves. But if you're a seasoned citizen, we'll tell you, you don't have to wait in line. If it's a long line, we've had lines. It's nothing that's been hour, 2 hours, anything like that, but we've had a little bit of a line. And again, we'll see folks outside as a seasoned citizen. We'll ask them, you're more than welcome to, do it from your car, or you can just wait. And a lot of times they would prefer to wait, but we do give them multiple options and everything like that. So that's not a problem. And then once they come in, we have machines that if you are physically challenged and you're in a wheelchair or something like that, we have at least 2 machines at all times that are a little bit lower and everything like that. So you actually sit in your wheelchair, and actually vote from there. Again, we have at least, I think at times we have 8, 10, I think about 8 ballots and everything like that. 2 more always dedicated for people who are maybe in a wheelchair. So we have the accommodation for pretty much, and even if you're seeing impaired, if you are hard of hearing or you're deaf, we have all those mechanisms in place to where you can still vote. So no matter what the affliction may be, we have a way to ensure that you are able to vote. Mhm.
All right. So I came in the door.
Mhm.
I made it to the table.
Yeah, the table.
What if I still have questions?
We still have people there. If you have a question, once we've registered you, once we've given you your ballot card for you to go vote, and a lot of times the questions will start as soon as you get around to actually start your balloting, and then you start to look around. We're going to enter your ballot card for you. We're going to actually get you punched in until you get to your first screen. We're going to make sure you're at the right precinct, even though you're early voting. We want to make sure that it shows up on your right precinct and everything like that. And that also helps. So if you do try to go on the day of voting, it's already going to show that you've already voted, early voted. We have a lot of mechanisms in place so you don't vote twice, I guess it is. Plus, it's illegal to vote twice. But we're going to get you logged in. Oh, it's definitely illegal. And when people try, it gets flagged. But we will get you logged in and get you to the first screen. Whoever the first person on the ballot will explain to you. You touch the name, you touch the green button, you touch wherever you want, and then you go to the next. And I show them, if you touch one candidate you didn't mean to, don't panic. I'll see them looking around. They'll get mad and everything like that. And I'll come up and say, hey, can I help you? I punched this one by mistake. I really didn't want to do that. So again, we just go back. I said, just touch the same name. It's going to actually take that ballot off, or rather take off that check. And then you touch who you really wanted. I'll sit there and kind of pretty much hold your hand till you feel comfortable. And I'll just wait. Again, I don't really care who you vote for. I just want to make sure that all that you vote for is who you want to vote for.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
So when we're done and we walk out, when we're done and we walk out, there are normally still people in line, right?
Mhm. Yes.
And there are still people out there, and I want to kind of ask it in a way. You tell me, who are these people passing out these cards that
They're
I had to walk around or see, or I've got a handful of papers in my hand
Yes.
for folks I don't know, and like, what do I do? Who are
Yes.
they? What's their name?
Those are your,
Their position.
those are your electioneers. The candidates will have folks passing out their little flyer brochures for their particular candidates and everything like that. They should not be any closer than 50 feet from the entry door. I don't care what polling place you go to. You'll probably see a line or something like that because I'm out there early marking the lines where as far as they can come. If they cross, they can only talk to you within that 50 feet before you get to that 50 feet. Once they cross over, once you're going to vote, you go past them, they should not be talking to you at all. Now, but they are out there, and they're out there early in the morning, passing out little flyers for their particular candidates and everything like that. And we've had it to where some have been just a tad bit, I don't say aggressive, enthusiastic. And I've had to go out there and talk to them because when people are walking in the street just to kind of avoid them and everything like that, that's a problem. That's a problem. Or people, it's a library. It's a library that's still open. There's people not coming to vote. They're just coming to the library.
The library.
And they don't want to go through that gauntlet of information. So again, people will usually come and tell me, say, look, I'm just coming to the library. This group was particularly aggressive to me. I tried to tell them that I was fine, but they kept on. And that's my alarm going off. Anyway, they would say that it's really aggressive. No one should have to be threatened in that way. So we do approach them, and they usually will back off without any more issues.
Okay? Yep. Okay. All right. I'll let you go off just a second and get that alarm.
Well, I'm trying to get my stuff turned off.
So one thing I did want us to go back to is the phone number to the Board of Elections. And I have that phone number, sir. I have it. So when we talked about how do you check your registration, how do you know what's that turnaround for registering to vote? You can also call the Board of Elections and you can check on the state website.
Yeah.
And so that number for the Board of Elections is 336-242-2190. And then there is the state website, and it is vt.ncsbe.gov. I'm sorry, just www. Sorry about that.
Yes.
.ncsbe.gov. So you can keep up with your process. Okay. Most of us in Davidson County know that we're going to pass Lexington once or twice within a month, at least a month. But if you are challenged physically and you are a seasoned citizen, then that's the website. You can have your grandson, your granddaughter look it up for you and make sure that you're registered in case you had to move, especially if you went to a retirement community from your normal community. So definitely stay up on how to check that registration. 242-2190. That's area code 336. All right.
Real quick, I'm sorry. I know you brought up the retirement. There's some folks that have retired or in a assisted living home. If and they did not change their address from the current, if they're still technically, if their ID still shows that current address, we'll still let it go. Because again, sometimes it takes a while before they realize this is now my new address. And some pretty much fake that. We don't get involved in that. If they still have their license showing their previous old address, that's good enough for us.
Okay.
So that's not a problem.
Okay. Does that come maybe with a courtesy to age?
A lot of times when the senior citizens come in, they'll usually come in a bus, and there's 4 or 5 of them on a bus. And we'll go, and they're doing curbside because they literally can't walk and everything like that. We go up on the bus, take the clipboard, we take everybody's name, we take their IDs, whatever they have, and we check all their the registration and their ability, make sure they're in the right, county and everything like that.
Right.
We take them all the paperwork so they're able to vote right then and there. I'll have them fill it out. We have them vote. And once everything goes through, and I'll go back out there, give everybody a little sticker. That means everything went fine. Their vote went through and everything like that. So we
Yeah,
make sure everything is good.
that makes sense. Because if the retirement village bus pulled up, you knew
Yes.
that they lived there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I like that. I like hearing that you're not going to give them the turnaround just because their driver's license wasn't
Correct.
showing the village or the community or the neighborhood. Now I have that. Thank you so much. Because even we who are still able to get around, we sometimes forget to even update our driver's license. Thank you. So let's wrap it up with your story. Wrap it up with your story. The citizen that came in last year in 2022, and they went bonkers because they did not see who they wanted. Right. Tell me first, before you get into the weeds with it, tell me at least why that happened. Then tell the story.
Okay. When you go to vote, whether it be especially early voting, wherever you live at, wherever you reside at, you're assigned a certain precinct. If I live in precinct 62, which is the Thomasville area, and I may like you, Sister Kelly, and you're running for some office in, just say, Lexington area, it's still part of Davidson, and I want to vote for you. Once I punch in my name, my precinct is going to show up. You won't be on my precinct. And that's pretty much what happened. A young lady came in, I'm saying young lady came in, and she had her mindset of who she wanted to pick for her candidates and everything like that. When she got in and started voting, she noticed the candidate she wanted to pick was not on her particular ballot. So my chief judge was there. I had 2 judges there, 3 judges, and they kept trying to explain to her why it wasn't there. She was very upset. She kept thinking that we are somehow not allowing her to vote properly or anything like that. So I went over there and talked to her, and I explained to her, I asked her what the problem was, because she was irate. She was very upset, and she wasn't trying to listen to anybody else. So when I asked her, who are you looking for as far as the candidate and everything like that? So I went and pulled her name, pulled her specific precinct, and then I pulled the precinct that her candidate was actually running for, and I showed her that the person you're looking for is only in this particular precinct. Where you live at, it's not, you can't vote for him. I literally had to show her all the different ones and everything like that, because me just telling her, well, anybody who's just telling her wasn't quite registered with her. So I actually had to give her the proof to show her, this is where he is, this is the precinct he is. You have to be in this particular precinct. And she finally realized that she was incorrect in her calling everybody all kinds of names. And she didn't apologize to anybody, but she did thank me for taking a little bit extra time to help her, figure out why certain people weren't on her particular ballot. And that's pretty much the same with anybody. So if you have any questions like that, it's okay if you get upset, but just ask, because a lot of times someone there can help you out.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And as a resource, because we believe in giving resources to empower the people. So the resource for that, to check your sample ballot before you go, okay, is votedavidsoncounty.nc.com. votedavidsoncounty.nc.com. All one word. So please be empowered to get the knowledge before you go. So there are no surprises. We don't want any surprises at the polls. All right. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you, Brother Best. You guys may see Brother Best. I believe you're going to see him back probably 2 or 3 more times, 1 or 2 more times. But all is well. You can look forward to, again, like I said, 9 more series on voter education, 9 more topics. We will rotate a variety of people in to keep the platform diversified. You will hear from those who are in Board of Election, those who are in the Democratic Party, those who work at the polls, and I believe we even have the Vote NC representative that agreed to come also. But thank you again. We're going to end this session. If there are any questions, remember, please, oh, please take the time to put it in the chat as we log out. Thank you again, Brother Best, and we will see you
Thank
guys
you.
on the next time.